By the way, this is the third time I'm filming this today. It's just been one of those days. The second time I filmed it, my boob was hanging out of my shirt and I didn't realize it. That was professional. Oh, yeah. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about some of my biggest tips and tricks that I utilize for working from home, because this is such a huge transition and there's so many factors that go into making this decision, and I want to share my experience to hopefully encourage you to, number one, start working for yourself, and number two, I want to give you my tips and tricks so that you are prepared for the process, because it's a big process and a big decision. So first off, if you're working from home, congratulations. I want to say that this is such a huge, amazing step, and I wish you all the abundance and wonderfulness of your new journey, because it is terrifying and exciting all at the same time. And losing that bi-weekly paycheck is a huge transition. So I also want to give you guys some tips and tricks on how I manage my finances, especially because now you're not getting paid for like a month or two. Unless you get cash, but most of the time you have to invoice people. So that's a whole other part of this process as well that I think is super important. And I just want to share with you kind of like what I do and like just give you a little glimpse into my life, because it's really exciting. Or is it? All right, guys, so let's get started with my tips and tricks for working from home. All right, so tip number one is to wake up before 8 a.m. And I know that like there's this like saying that millionaires wake up before 6 a.m., but my biggest tip is to get up before 8. Honestly, if you are liaising or working with people who live on the East Coast and you're watching this and you're on the West Coast, you could be losing out on some amazing business opportunities if you're not catching the people on the East Coast and you live in the West Coast, because there's about I think like a 4 to 6 hour difference for a lot of us. It's really important to make sure you're getting up early so you can catch the business that's happening. Yeah, slowly but surely I'm working my way up to the millionaire time frame of 6 a.m. I will get there. I just need a little more time. So number two is to have a routine. My biggest recommendation is to make sure that you've got a really strong routine, and it does take a few weeks to develop a routine. Don't feel bad if it takes you a few months to figure out a routine. It's totally your own routine. Like my routine won't work for you and your routine probably won't work for me. If you have kids, if you have a family, it's really important to develop a routine that works really well for you. It's just like working from your office. Like when you're in your office, you get out of the elevator in the morning and you have your routine. Like you take off your jacket, go make your coffee, get your notes ready for your meeting. Like there's like a routine that you have, and it's so important to have the same kind of routine at home so that you are making sure you're maximizing your productivity. You can make sure that you're maximizing the amount of time in your day, and also making sure that you aren't straying from your routine too much, because trust me, it's very easy to get distracted when you're working from home. It's like, oh, I want to reorganize the shelf in the bathroom today, and like you didn't respond to emails for the whole day. Like it happens. And number three, make sure that you are getting out of the house. I have to say, oh my God, you guys, the first 4 weeks that I started working from home, I literally forgot to get dressed. So what I've been doing is incorporating about an hour a day where I go run some errands, like go for a walk, or like, you know, just go play in the backyard, like with my cat or something. Just where I'm like making sure that I'm getting outside and getting away from the computer screen and really taking an opportunity to like take a lunch break pretty much. Because, you know, when you work at a job, it's like you remember, because everybody's getting up and going for lunch. So you remember like, oh, it's lunchtime. Okay, maybe I'll go to like Starbucks or something like that. Like, but when you're working by yourself at home, like there's no one to kind of remind you to take a break. So that was kind of where I lost track of my day, was I was forgetting to take that time to like, you know, get away from the computer screen and like go sit outside. It happens where you actually forget to leave the house for a few days and you feel really isolated and like, you know, Jack from The Shining, you start to go crazy and think there's a bartender serving you alcohol in your kitchen. All work, no play makes Chrissy a something. Yeah. So number 4 is a huge one, is when you're making the transition to start working from home, what I did was started to declutter my house because I was getting so stressed out trying to work and having just like a giant mess around me. Like I would get distracted so easily. I just was finding it really difficult to really get going and like not be distracted if my house was cluttered and messy. Coming home and having a tidy house, like if I'm out running errands or like out for the day, like doing meetings and stuff, and I still have to do some work when I come home, being able to walk into my house and just like get going on what I need to do is amazing, and it's such a time saver. So go and reorganize your house. It will change your life. Okay, so number 5 is a huge one. Basically, your paychecks don't exist anymore. You don't get bi-weekly checks unless you work for a company from home. If you are a contract worker like me, I really truly don't see the check come for like 2 months because 1, once the work is done, I have to invoice the company, and then 2, they have to send it to their finance department. That takes a week, and then they've got to cut a check, and then they have to put it in the mail, and then by the time it gets to me, it's probably been about 2 months before I see any money from anybody. So when you're starting to work for yourself, it's so important to have money put aside so that you can cover your expenses for at least 2 months. I just make sure that I have a nice cushion under me at all times because I never know when my next job is going to be. So that's like probably the most stressful part of working for yourself. But another thing financially, speaking of that, I'm actually able to save a lot of money because I no longer have a commute to work. I no longer have to go buy lunches or anything like that. I don't buy coffee in the morning because I'm not walking to the office past a Starbucks or something. So I've actually saved so much money working from home. It's been amazing. 1 week I spent $9. And I find I've lost a lot of weight as well because I'm not tempted to go eat at Starbucks. I've literally lost 20 pounds. I've lost a lot of weight. But yeah, so I just wanted to communicate the financial part because that is also just like a really big decision in this process and a really big thing to consider. So be financially prepared and you will do amazing. So number 6, don't forget to give yourself a weekend. Give yourself a weekend, guys. I always give myself a weekend. I will generally, a lot of my acting bookings and stuff and my makeup bookings are on Saturdays, but what I try and do is give myself Sundays off. I will edit sometimes on Sundays, but that's about it. So it really depends on how my week is going, but I will always try and give myself 2 days off during the week. Some weeks I only get 1 day off, some weeks I get no days off, but then there's weeks where I don't really have anything, or I'll give myself a break from posting a video because I need a week off. You know what I mean? So it's give and take. And another big thing as well is just to remember to give yourself some evenings as well. If you have a family, it's so important to give yourself evenings off or flex your schedule to be able to accommodate some family time, because the first little bit of me learning about this, I would be on my phone at night. I would forget to pay attention to my husband because I was like answering emails, WhatsApps, and like Snapchat, Instagram inbox messages. Like I was just plain old forgetting to pay attention to my husband. Like I was really bad. So what I do now is I set my phone to silent at about 7 p.m. and I only respond to people that I'm working with the following day or any urgent messages that I get. It's very important to remember to pay attention to your family. So again, this is such a huge transition. I just want to let you know that if I can do it, you can totally do it. I am the biggest knob. I can literally just be like the biggest knob. It's a little bit of a different phase because you have to be self-directed and you need to be self-motivated. If you are able to do that, you've got the qualities of an entrepreneur. If you find yourself only looking forward to Friday, like really think about that. I was always looking forward to Friday, and to me that's not a way that I wanted to live anymore. I wanted to get up and look forward to every day, and I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I wake up in the morning, I'm out of bed, making coffee, super excited to get going with my day. I have never felt like that before, you guys, ever. Yeah, so think about it. If you're always looking forward to Friday, maybe think of a business idea that you can kind of get going on the side and eventually turn it into a home business. Really think about it. Anyways, if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment down below in the comment section and let me know how you're doing. say hello. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel already. The subscribe button is like, I think it's there. And make sure to follow me on Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram if you haven't started following me already. On Snapchat, I do snap almost every day. So there's usually extended snaps sometimes. There's a rant on there right now, I think. I think I was ranting the other day. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Oh, yeah. Don't wanna be a player.